Welcome back, everybody, to the Nerdcore Podcast, the podcast that reviews movies and talks that nerd shit. It's a wonderful day as we bring to you another review, and today we're going to be talking about Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon. As always, it is the Nerd Chicana here to host the show, lots of our wonderful co-host Brad Young Yoda.
Subs up, everybody. There's nobody in here because we're recording. So, subs up, everybody in the future. Thank you for
Yep,
watching, tuning in. We appreciate it.
yep. I really, what's it called? I really, what's it called? What am I trying to say here? I fuck up with Brad's mojo when it's not a stream, when
Yeah,
he's
because
recording.
I gotta make up shit that I just gotta go off.
Yeah,
I gotta go off track, and then Rose gotta be like, we gotta do a show. Like, you gotta bring it back. This is
yeah.
not the first episodes, Brad.
Yeah, you're like, oh crap, I'm recording, so now I'm actually talking to them as if it's dropping on Monday.
Yeah. So
So,
this is Brad from the past talking to people of the future.
yep, yep. But of course, if you wanted this a little bit early, this does drop on Patreon before it goes live
Right there.
on
See the
everywhere on
scrolly?
Monday.
The scrolly.
Patreon.com/nerdcore. $1 gets you this episode early before anybody else gets to watch it on Monday at 12 p.m. Central Time. But of course, before we can get into any of that, Brad, we were just on live show, I know, but
Yeah.
I have to say it again. How are you, Brad?
Doing well, Roll. Not sick, not
Well, go fuck yourself, man.
do better than you.
Doing better than me.
You were doing better than me
Well,
last week, though, so we just kind of just
yeah,
flipped it.
yeah. But then again, Brad, you saw me yesterday and
You were
today. I think
horrible yesterday. I'm like, why is he recording? Like, he is
because I
dying.
don't want to fuck up the schedule. I don't want to fuck up the schedule.
This man
We have
was
a good thing going
dying
on
on
here.
me, and I'm just like, and I was really, and we were doing a Glengarry Glen Ross, and I was like really excited about this movie, and I know Raul was too, but like Raul was just so much dying, like you couldn't tell, like this was Raul. I'm excited.
It's a
I like
conspiracy for me not.
Pacino, and like when you bring up Pacino, like usually like Raul's eyes like flash, and he's
Yeah.
just like so happy. He does the
Yet,
Pacino voice.
yet last night I was not happy.
No, he was not. I'd still say I think we gave a pretty good review on that, even though you were
Yeah,
half dead.
yeah,
But I will say if you haven't seen Glengarry Glen Ross, go watch it. It's on
yeah,
Peacock. I think it's on Amazon Prime.
yeah. But yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, yesterday was just bad. But I'm like, bro, I don't want this schedule to get fucked up. I don't want the schedule to get fucked up again. And
So
we've
that
got a
man did the
great
worst
thing
thing
going.
ever, and he was like, "Brad, you host," and I'm like, what?"
Yeah, it's like I don't wanna.
Like I don't know everything you say, so I'm just gonna make it up.
It's like if I haven't been here with him like
Yeah,
for
but
a
I don't
while
pay
now.
attention because I'm just trying to remember what the fuck I'm supposed to say with the Shane part. Like, okay, it's what is it again? Okay,
Oh my god.
I have to push the play on that every time.
Yeah. But Brad, you were you watch anything today? Yeah, I know you said
I watched Tokyo Vice.
what's Tokyo Vice?
So it is so it's setting in Tokyo. I'll go over the kind of the first
Yeah.
episode how it starts, and you have basically I don't think it's a college kid. I think he's out of college or just graduated, and at the time he's teaching English to I think it's Japanese moms, and he's trying to get a journalist job, and apparently to get this, it's like a very nobody like gets this job, especially Americans. He's from Missouri, and so he has to take this test, and he gets brought in because
Hmm.
he does so well on the test, even though he missed some questions. And basically, he becomes the first like American to be hired on as you know a journalist for this paper, this Japanese paper, very old paper that's been around forever and everybody reads. And then he gets on the police beat, and so you go with him into all these different like he has to write all these stories, and he goes and you just follow his progression in this and how he makes connections with you know for first this one cop he kind of just goes to the bar with and gets some stories from there, but there's this bigger story on the outside that he's trying to figure out that looks like it involves the Yakuza. And so you I'm on like episode I think 4 or 5, and it just
Oh,
goes deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole is basically what's happening.
yeah. Sounds like it's kind of like treading kind of like noir territory, but also kind of like a journalism like
It's more like a journalist, but it does have that Yakuza background into it, so you get to see some of that cultural aspect that you don't really get to see anywhere else about the Yakuza.
yeah. Well, that's interesting. Um, like I said, I started Abbott Elementary season 3,
I still
but
have not watched any episode of that. That is one that I want to get to because I've
dude, it's
heard it's hilarious. And
hilarious.
then they won all the awards on one of those. What was it? The Golden Globes one year? Like they won like
Yeah, when he went
everything.
with the Emmys, really want to
Yeah,
fuck ton of stuff, dude. It's just genuinely funny. It's like if you like The Office, if you like Parks and Rec, you're gonna love Abbott Elementary. And I started that today because the first episode dropped yesterday. So I went ahead and I watched that today. I do need to watch Lulu Wang's new work. She's got a show on Amazon Prime called Expats. So I need to get to watching that. But I might let that drop all by itself first, and then watch it because like I said, Lulu Wang is great. I love the farewell, so I want to see what she's got cooking with this new show that she's making.
sounds interesting. Yep. I mean,
Yeah,
I love The Farewell. That was my favorite movie in 2019.
damn straight, damn
That's
straight.
back when before the pandemic, and I lost 3 years.
Yeah, yeah, true that. But today we're here to talk about Killers of the Flower Moon, y'all. We're getting through some reviews that we have here that we want to get to. Hopefully, the next one we do, where we well, not the next one like that, but like I want to get to watching a dream scenario, so we can do that as well. But without further ado, Brad, let's go ahead and get them ready for this. If they have not watched Killers of the Flower Moon, you should probably get out of here if they care about spoilers. But if they don't care about spoilers, or you've already watched the movie, go ahead and stay. Either way, how any of that goes, this is your one and only spoiler warning, and it is in effect in a five, four, three, two, one.
Man, you got a shit ton to read.
I know, Brad. I might have to tap out and tell you to what's it called, read like a little bit of it,
Okay.
but
I can do that. I can read all of it if you need me. So
okay, yeah, please do, because
okay,
like
because
I'm
I just
about like
looking at it, I'm like, man, we're gonna be here all night.
I'm about like
Uh
21 minutes from having to take my Nyquil, and my nose is getting stuffed again, so I'm
okay.
ready to get.
So I will get to read it now. So coming from Wikipedia, Colors of the Flower Moon is a 2023 American epic Western crime drama film, co-written, produced, and directed by Martin Scorsese. Eric Roth and Scorsese based their screenplay on the 2017 nonfiction book by David Gran. Set in 1920s Oklahoma, it focuses on a series of murders of Osage members and relations in the Osage Nation after oil was discovered on tribal land. The tribal members had retained mineral rights on their reservation, but a corrupt local political boss sought to steal the tribal members' wealth. Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, and Lily Gladstone lead an ensemble cast, also including Jesse Plemons, Tanto Cardinal, John Lithgow, and Brendan Fraser. It is the sixth feature film collaboration between Scorsese and DiCaprio, the 10th between Scorsese and De Niro, the second between Scorsese and both actors overall, and the 11th and final between Scorsese and composer Robbie Robertson, who died 2 months prior to the film's release. The film is dedicated to Robertson. Development began in March 2016 when Imperative Entertainment won the adaptation rights to the book. Scorsese and DiCaprio were attached to the film in 2017, with production expected to begin in early 2018. Following several pushbacks and delays due to the COVID-19 pandemic, production was scheduled to begin in February 2021, with Apple TV Plus confirmed to finance and distribute the film alongside Paramount Pictures. Principal photography ultimately took place between April and October 2021 in Osage and Washington counties, Oklahoma. The film was produced by Scorsese's Cicalia Productions and DiCaprio's Appian Way Productions. With its $200 million budget, reportedly the largest amount ever spent on a film shoot in Oklahoma. Colors of the Flower Moon premiered at the 76th Cannes Film Festival on May 20th, 2023. It was theatrically released in the United States on October 20th, 2023. By Paramount Pictures and Apple Original Films, the film has grossed over $156 million worldwide and received critical acclaim with praise for Scorsese's direction, the screenplay, production values, editing, cinematography, musical score, and cast performances, especially DiCaprio, Gladstone, and De Niro. Although the runtime received some criticism, it won Best Film at the National Board of Review and was named one of the top 10 films of 2023 by the American Film Institute. It was also nominated for 10 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, 7 Golden Globe Awards, including Best Motion Picture Drama, and with Gladstone winning Best Actress Motion Picture Drama, and 9 British Academy Film Awards, including Best Film. Oh, let's go through who we got. We got cinematography, Rodrigo
Prieto.
Prieto. Thank you. Edited by Thelma Schumacher, who I believe she's edited like every Scorsese film, right?
Pretty much.
Pretty much. Music, of course, by Robbie Robertson, rest in peace. And the running time of 206 minutes. Budget 200 million, box office 156.8 million. But I guarantee this movie made more with subscriptions. I'm sure.
Oh yeah. This I'm pretty sure they made those 200 back. Um
And with the awards they
206.
took, let's be real here. This is a Scorsese movie. It was meant for the award season.
Yeah. Um so that's 3 hours and 26 minutes of runtime. Um which, remember, y'all, wasn't even the what's it called? The first runtime that they wanted after they told them to cut it down at Con. What's it
So we're
called?
go,
Was
we're going to get a director's cut like 5 hours long.
maybe, I don't know. I think it was like supposed to be like 3 hours and 40 something originally, but yeah, they cut it down to 326. Um
I'd be interested watching what those 20-minute missing minutes were.
I would be interested to see it too. I don't know if
That'll ever get released.
if it'll ever get released. I wonder what it was, what they had in there, but yeah. Um Brad, what are your initial thoughts on Killers of the Flower Moon?
Um, I believe if we go back to the end of our year, our top 10, this came in at number 2 um, as my second favorite movie of the year. And for good reason. Scorsese at 80, still doing his thing, still being a master at the craft. And then bringing in DiCaprio, De Niro, and Lily Gladstone, who probably was the best thing on the screen, and that's saying something with both DiCaprio and De Niro on the screen. So
Yeah.
Lily Gladstone stole the show, um, and I just love the look of this film, the story, just the whole Western part of it. Um, I think De Niro is just probably the best villain of the year in what he played. DiCaprio, I think DiCaprio came in with a bit of Gilbert Grape, like a slight Gilbert Grape slowness to this character, and played it really well. Um, and just the violence in this is epic. I mean, it brings you back to like Scorsese, just like Taxi Driver, and just he doesn't back down on just showing the violence that happened to these people, and it's a true story, and you get that overall feel of this, and you get how these people are trying to kill off a culture for wealth.
Yeah. Um, this movie's incredible. I echo what Brad says here as well. Like, it's called Scorsese at 80 making some this, but it's not just Scorsese at 80 doing his thing, is doing his thing at this level where it's like this is like, it's incredible, man. I mean, he's creating another epic for himself where, you know, I thought very much that, like, I kept bringing this back where I was like, I thought, like, hey man, if he ever wanted to finish off with a movie, if he wanted to put a bow on his career, I thought that The
Yeah,
Irishman would have been that one.
this,
After
this
watching Killers of the Flower Moon,
yeah, this. I mean, then he's going off for another one.
he's still got more. And then, like, we said it, like, I don't think he's gonna be, what's it called,
He's not
satisfied.
stopping.
He's
No,
not satisfied
he
until he
he
finishes.
will he will die in the middle.
Yeah,
Let's be, he will probably pass away in the middle of filming, or his film being edited, or hasn't been done. It will be another Kubrick. It'll be a Kurosawa.
yeah.
Um, it'll probably end up what happened to Spielberg too.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I know he says he's like, oh, I maybe have like four more left. I'm like, I don't believe you.
no,
I don't believe you.
he's gonna keep going until he can't go anymore.
Yeah.
That's my feeling.
I love that you bring up Lily Gladstone because I think Lily Gladstone is the not just the best performance of this movie. I think she is literally what holds this movie together. I don't think if you have Lily Gladstone in there portraying Molly Burkhart,
The story
she
doesn't work.
this story doesn't work. Which is just crazy to think that like before this script was rewritten, I read that that Molly was only in there for like maybe like three scenes.
Yeah, I can't, and I don't understand how that could, because everything involving Molly, it
Yeah,
that's what makes this movie. Like her family is being decimated, and you can just
yeah,
tell character, and then they go after her, and it's all of that. It's not them, and then you're like, oh, they're not just going after her, they're going after that whole Osage nation. They're going
yeah,
after everyone.
yeah. But De Niro is absolutely menacing in here. I mean, it is. Oh my
He,
God, he
he's a
is
villain.
scary. He is scary, Brad. Like,
And you go and you ask yourself how Ernest can, like, just fall in line, and then you look at the dude and you're like, well, Ernest is a bit slow. He's also, he
yep,
came back from World War I, so probably a lot of PTSD going on, and then
yep,
his uncle's scary as shit.
yeah,
It's basically the mob. That's what we're looking at, the mob leader.
yeah. I think throughout the film, you can tell that Ernest is like, it's like, well, I gotta do what King tells me to do. And he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
he
because
goes, I don't even want to get in the way of Uncle King here.
King gave me a job and got me driving. You know,
Yep. And I don't know. I don't think I can say that this man loves Molly because I don't think you could love
you would
somebody and kill her.
and try to poison her to death.
Yeah.
But part of me wants to go like he knew he was putting stuff extra into it.
Yeah.
I still like the man was a little bit slow though. Like he wasn't all there. He could have been all there because he really thought King was doing the best thing for him. Uh, uh, There's part of me that wants to think that Ernest didn't really actually know, and maybe that's just DiCaprio's performance being so good,
I
in
think
that
that's just DiCaprio's
you're left
performance
there.
being so good,
Yeah,
man.
because there's part of me that's just like, I don't know if Ernest like, it's medicine, you gotta take it. King said it to help you, and as she just gets sicker, he's like, huh, I don't know, maybe it's just the diabetes.
Yep. Yep. But I mean, DiCaprio's
But
fantastic.
there is a point where, like, at the end, you're going, yeah, Ernest kinda. I think Ernest had an idea. Like, there's a
Yeah.
slight idea. Part of me wants to be like, I don't think Ernest completely knew what he was doing, but there is part of me that's like, she's not getting better. Maybe like this isn't what we should be doing.
Yeah. Um, and I think that that Scorsese, like once again, you bring it up, like the brutality. This brutality that we haven't seen from him in a while. I mean, even then, The Irishman to me wasn't as brutal as this. I mean,
No, the
when the
Irishman
house,
had violence for sure,
but I mean, when the house blows up in this movie, and
and
they go to
you
pick
have
up
the
the
woman,
body, and like,
and then like her brain like just falls out of her head.
like it's fucking brutal, man. Fucking
Yeah,
brutal.
that whole scene, that's fucking cool scene. Like the
It's
whole
just,
explosion of the house, and she's just laying there when they find her, and they're like, "Yeah, she looks okay." And then they go to pick her up, and you're like, "Oh, nope,
yeah, it's fucking crazy, man. It is fucking crazy, and no amount of what's called depiction on the screen might even begin to fucking even bring to what's it called light how accurate it is, or even
no."
like
Like there was
that's
probably
probably
more
just
things going on.
yeah, that's probably not even close to what it was actually like.
No, that I bet you that Osage Nation was decimated just by this group of people who just wanted their oil.
Yeah,
And that's what they really. That was really what it was. They were marrying into the Osage Nation and then killing off people piece by
yeah.
piece.
Well, they were what's it called? They were what's it called? They were deceiving them. They were making it seem like they were actually, and like and I throughout this whole movie, like I felt so much for those sisters, like especially the
Oh,
one who like obviously was an alcoholic. but she was being like taken advantage by everybody else.
Yeah, and then her just being killed like that, just like that's how kind of how it was. What you had De Niro kill off the one guy who he had an insurance policy on because he didn't believe he was going to pay his debt back, and it's
Yep.
just how easily like all these people were just killing people,
Yeah.
and then Ernest was just going around telling people to kill people, and you're
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
Also, you can't help but talk about the fact that that, De Niro was spanking DiCaprio.
Yeah, that's some Mason shit going on right there. If
That
you
probably
want
had to
to
be one fun day on
you want
set.
to know what happened in the Masonic Lodge.
He goes, "You gonna learn how to do my job, right, boy?"
Yeah.
Oh
That
my
was a big paddle too. Like, holy god.
god. I'm pretty sure he looked at Marty and said, "Hey, Marty, I think we're gonna need a second take on that one, right?"
I'm already like, I didn't get it that time. It, like the paddle didn't whistle enough.
Oh
DiCaprio
my god.
just tied up there. Like, what the fuck?
Some of the best of Prieto's what's it called camera work and the lighting is just fucking fantastic. I especially love the scenes where like it's a lot of practical and like the fire is lighting up a lot of the screen and you have just some fantastic lighting in here,
Oh
bro.
yeah.
I think they do such a great job with
Oh,
that.
the cinematography in this is just goddamn
Masterful.
gorgeous. It's
Yeah,
gorgeous,
yeah. The score is great too. Um, really sucks that this is Robbie Robertson's final score.
and he didn't even get to see the finished product.
Yeah,
So that's
but such a great score, man. He was great composition,
it.
and
Really added to the whole movie, to the tension, and then also
yeah,
kind of to the western thematic of it. So really good score.
yeah. And I mean, it's some of his best. They're up there with Raging Bull, bro. Raging Bull and fucking Silence. I love his score for Silence. Fucking Wolf of Wall Street too has a great score as well. But he's such an incredible composer, and I was like, when I walked into this, I was like, "There's no way that this guy doesn't do a great job on this score because he's one of the best of all time, man."
Yeah,
Um, but also you cannot talk about that ending. I think that ending is probably one of the greatest endings to a movie of all time. Um, Instead of you just like ending it like that, I kind of Scorsese kind of flips it, and it's kind of like him commentating on like the fact that instead of us like learning about these things and like actually learning about it and going about like trying to fix things in this country,
hmm
what happens is that instead we use it as like this thing to exploit. And like we sat here, we've learned
just to
about
make
these people.
entertainment out of it.
Yeah, like we've sat here and we what's it called learned about these people. What's it called exploitation by others to just instead exploit them back by like using them as like for like topics for true crime and all these things. And it's like
Yeah,
for it to end with that, like where Scorsese says like she died, she what's it called, she never remarried, she died, and for it to end with the actual like the people just celebrate what's it called doing that the ritual and what's it called celebrating with each other. I thought that ending was so powerful, very powerful, and I love that also that Scorsese also brings up Tulsa in there as well in
yep.
the film. He brings up the Tulsa riots, and he was like,
Black
the
Wall Street
natives are
and
saying like, oh, this is like it's what just like what happened in Tulsa, and it's like it really puts a lot of
I
things into
mean,
perspective.
and again, I say our history books are shit because we never learned this.
Yeah,
We don't learn this until you have a rapper name his album Black Wall Street, or it's said on a comic book show. You don't learn about this shit, and I mean that's kind of sad in a way.
yeah, but what's it called? Yeah, so like she ends it saying like that she divorced Ernest, she married somebody, and like but she died of diabetes, and she was buried with her parents and all that, and it's like I love that I love that ending. I think it's just to me a lot of this movie is also like uh a way of like him commentating on cinema itself and it's like what it's become like such a like exploitative nature of like us instead of like wanting to decipher the truth of these stories we want to just like use it as a way to
Wash
as
over
to
it.
like make money off of their stories
Yeah,
instead of like trying to learn from them and trying to like better our lives with it. So I think that Scorsese just does this so incredibly well. Now, I do have to agree with some stuff with people when it comes to this with his runtime. I think that it does drag a little bit in the second act. I think it's like the pace does drag a bit in the second act, but it's nothing that got me like completely what's it called out of it. I still love this movie so much, but
Me,
my only gripe is the pacing in the second
I,
act.
I kind of, but I kind of disagree with those people who complain about the runtime, because I
Yeah,
think if you cut it down to say
you
2 hours
lose a lot.
or hour 30, you're not going to have enough to tell this whole story, this whole history. You're not going to
Yeah,
have that time. This is a very overwhelming, large story
yeah.
that I didn't know about, that was never taught in any history book I read.
What's
And
crazy,
so
Brad?
for Scorsese to bring this in, you need that long runtime. I mean, might have liked the intermission in between, sure.
Yeah. And I don't think it has a lot to do with the runtime. I think mostly it's the direction in there and how like certain scenes are directed, maybe, and like how it's edited. But to me, I felt like it was dragging a little bit in the second act. Now, what's crazy, Brad, is that we say like how we didn't learn about this, and it's like we hear that this is based on a novel, and it's like you kind of sit there and think like, oh, I'm pretty sure this was like an old novel that nobody ever wanted to like what's it called bring up. Brad, this novel was written in 2017.
Yeah, when I never heard about it.
Never heard about it.
Yeah.
So it's
So maybe that's on me. Not
I would
uh,
like to read
but
this novel.
that's the thing though, with the advent of the internet and video and just in the palm of your hand. um Books have kind of gone to the wayside, so it might be on me too.
Yeah.
And not looking into more stuff to read. I got a whole pile of books that I want to read.
Yep. A whole pile, right? Yeah. But I think this film is incredible. It's just another not just another example of how great Martin Scorsese is as a director, but it's another example of how, you know, fucking DiCaprio's still on his game. De Niro, you could sit there and tell me what's it called, like, oh, De Niro got this role just because him and Martin Scorsese are friends. But I
Sure.
look at his performance here and I'm like, I don't think I want anybody else to play him but De Niro.
And that's a De Niro as the fucking villain is still good.
And you look at a picture of what William King Hale looked like, and you're like, yeah, you know what? I think he kind of does look like De Niro.
Kind of does look like De Niro. I mean, but this is like, we've seen like a lot of De Niro's been a lot of villains. Like,
But
I
he's
mean,
never been this type of villain,
he's
bro.
never been like just this is an evil character De Niro played.
Yep.
Like we've seen some really bad criminals, and they kill people, but this man was going above and beyond in the killing, and then taking of wealth and land and
Yep.
whatever, taking everything. And even in jail he was taking shit.
Yeah. And like also I love how it's Scorsese mixing not just the whole crime aspect, which he's been known for dealing with in like films forever,
Yeah.
but he like deals with it with the backdrop of a western, which is something that we're not used to Scorsese doing.
No.
Like we haven't seen Scorsese done a pure western like this before,
Mm.
and for him to like weave it together with something
Like in
like
the gangster
a
films,
gangster films, like
his Casino, and
yeah,
stuff like that.
like I think that was fucking masterful, and of course, the incredible performance by Lily Gladstone, which I think is probably one of the best performances of this decade,
I'm
and
telling you, without her, the movie
it
the
just
movie
doesn't work.
doesn't hold up.
No, it doesn't hold up. But Brad, what is your final verdict?
Fuck, I really like this movie. Do I think? I don't know if I necessarily agree with the pacing thing, because I think you need that fucking long ass runtime, personally. So I don't really have an issue with this movie. I think it's damn near perfect, and for that, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10.
Damn straight, Brad. My score, I give it a 9 out of 10. I think it's incredible. I stacked this up against all the other films that I've seen from Scorsese, and it's just it doesn't like what's it called stack up there like with like Last Temptation, with Goodfellas and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
I mean, I'd rank it high though. Like, it's
it's
good.
high for me. It's
Yeah,
like top 10 to me.
yeah, it's good.
But it's just compared to like what I think is his perfect film. It's like it just doesn't get to that.
Yeah, Goodfellas. I think maybe Casino, but for me, I'd put it up there with them. I think it's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we thank you all so much for joining us. And as always, please follow along with us on nerdcore.com, Twitter at the nerdcore underscore, Instagram at the nerdcore, Threads is as well the nerdcore. TikTok is at the nerdcore, Discord link is in the description below. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure that you leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell so you don't miss a single piece of content that drops on the channel. And of course, please go ahead and if you're listening to this on the audio side of things, make sure that you leave a 5-star review on the channel on the podcast app of your choice. Wow, I'm losing it. And what's it called? Make sure to follow us. And yeah, I need my NyQuil. Um, as always, we want to thank our patrons. You can become a patron by going over to patreon.com/nerdcore and pledging to the $1 tier. You get this episode early before anybody else gets to watch it. And of course, it's just not possible without our wonderful patrons. They make it happen, and we love them for it. Brad, can you tell them about our wonderful executive producer, Shane?
You can follow our friend Shane at twitch.tv/XSRK or on Twitter at ThriftedIL, or go buy something from the Suppy God at PresentCityVintage.com. Shout out to Shane. Thank you.
Yeah.
Love you, Shane.
Okay, I looked at my list. Yeah, this is number 9. This is number 9 in my
Hey,
Martin
top 10.
Scorsese. Yep. On top of Kundun and behind After Hours. You need to watch After Hours, Brad.
Yeah, I probably need to
F.
watch After Hours. I probably like that.
F.
I didn't really like
Oof.
Kundun, though. That was my
Yeah.
favorite from Scorsese.
Yeah. But I mean, I've got some great ones on top of this. I mean, you got After Hours, King of Comedy, Casino, The Irishman, Goodfellas, Raging Bull, Taxi Driver, and of course my favorite, Last Temptation.
See, and I
So
like The Irishman, but I think I like this one more. I think it's just different flavors.
yeah. Yeah. And like I said, a lot of what's it called? A lot of his late filmography is now starting to like concentrate on aging and on like what's it called? Him sitting back and like reflecting a lot of like what he's been seeing in the past and all
Uh,
these
uh, also, it's a Western.
yeah.
And if we know anything, I love samurai movies.
Yep.
And guess where Western spaghetti Westerns came from?
Yep.
Came from fucking samurai movies.
Yep. All right, man. With that said, Brad, let's go ahead and get them out of here.
All right, Raul, thank you being host as always. Thank to all those who join us in future chats as this is recorded. Thank you to our listeners out there, our Patreon supporters. We appreciate each and every one of you. Be sure, please, to leave us a like, subscribe, and comment. We love reading your comments if they're not hateful. And
We love interacting with y'all.
yeah, if it's like a good interaction, I don't like if it's like you just being an asshole. So
Nobody wants to be an ass. Nobody wants to deal with an asshole.
no, so we just mute you. That's all that happens. So, anyways, thank you all for listening. And to end this episode, I don't know, marry for love and treat your wife right. And tell
Yep.
your villainous uncle to fuck off. Yeah, we'll go with that. Young Yoda out.